No, 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 no.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, this time in the experimental F5F Skyrocket. The Skyrocket is a light twin-engine fighter built for the Navy to compete with the F4U Corsair. And it's actually what the design of the XP50 was inspired off of as well. So it shares many similar traits. Right off the bat, I'm going to throw us into a dogfight with a KI-43 just to show you how nimble this thing is. I whiff my first shot, but he's going to loop over the top and fall back into my guns, which is just going to give me a hit. The thing is, if you can master control of your flaps and your rudder, this thing is utterly unstoppable. He goes vertical, but that's actually my main strength and lets me whip the flaps all the way back out so that I can start making my way back around on him. He gets a little bit of positioning on me here, but because I didn't fly in front of his nose, it actually benefits me more as I've ended up behind him and kicked my rudder over. However, I did over rudder and this puts him behind me, so I have to make sure I don't take any critical damage. I'm rolling around in a dive straight down to mess up his camera and throw off his aim. I take some minor damage to my tail section, but it's really superficial, and he breaks off to not lose all his altitude, which gives me ample time to turn back around and re-engage him in the dogfight. He once again makes the mistake of going vertical, which puts me in an advantageous position again, as I'm able to point my nose at him, but he's rolling in such a way that I can't really follow it very well. But once again, he goes vertical. He does not learn from his mistakes. I pull my flaps all the way out, and I'm already starting to get behind him again. Because my armament only consists of 7.7 machine guns and 50 cals, I'm going to try and play a game plan here that puts me solidly behind him instead of trying to go for snapshots where I may not get the damage I need. I just barely pull out of the way of his nose here as my flaps give me just enough turn performance to dodge, but he still stalls out on top of me. However, with my stronger engine performance at this altitude, I'm able to just climb back over him again. We're engaging in a bit of a rolling scissor here, and as long as I maintain myself and not overheat my engines as I drop down to 94% throttle, I should be able to win this as he's also full sending it at 100% throttle without any flaps. If he had his flaps out or was not using 100% throttle, he may have been able to get behind me here, but he realizes that he's kind of screwed and has started transitioning into the random bullshit go portion of the dogfight, where he doesn't really know what to do anymore, and now it's just a matter of if I can hit my shots. Which, I'm having a major skill issue. I cannot aim for some reason. Regardless, I did crit him one time, which kind of puts him in a position where there isn't anything he can really do anymore to win out this match. I get another hit on his wing, as the 7.7s don't really do great damage, but he has so much damage that he actually crashes into the ground, giving me the kill. I type GG in chat, as that was a pretty good dogfight, and now I'm going to move on to the S199 in the distance. Now, I'm sorry Israeli players, but the S199 is probably one of the worst planes in the game. The thing is, as long as you don't get shot by its guns, it does literally everything worse than basically any plane you can play. Except for maybe bleed speed. It can bleed speed sometimes and get inside of you, but like, once I'm behind him like this, there is literally nothing he can do. And he knows it, as he turns his smoke on, and I'm just lighting him up from behind. Real quick, I'd just like to thank you guys for all the support you've shown me lately. I'm gonna do a Q&A, as I've recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so if you have any questions, make sure to join my Discord channel in the description, as you can post them there. I get a hit on the Key 43, and he makes the wrong decision to extend away before he turns back around. He needed to commit to the dogfight if he wanted to have a chance, but instead, he opens up a bunch of angles for me to shoot at him. I get some hits here, but the 7.7s just aren't really doing much for me. He once again just goes a little too far, letting me line up another shot on him, and our team manages to spray him down. There's a MiG-3 off to my right, and seeing as he's the highest altitude fighter, I spray a little on the head-on with him, but I pull off as to not get shredded by his better guns. I pull back up, and I'm once again going to use my flaps to cut down my turn circle and use my better engine power to climb over him. However, this MiG-315 seems to be kind of new to the game, and he goes up really slowly, letting me just cut in behind him and spray him down until he dies. Up at altitude, I spot a Hurricane, the new Finnish one. It's diving on my F4U teammate, and the Corsair really needs its altitude to thrive, so I'm going to intercept him so that my Corsair can keep his altitude. I get a hit, and then I whip back around, and the Hurricane actually flies in front of my guns. So I just spray a little bit, but I actually end up missing, because I'm bad at the game. He dives down, and this gives me ample time to just whip the flaps out and come over top so that I can dive down on him and have time to react. He does a silly little vertical maneuver and takes a head-on, which was not good for either of us. But he only has 7.7s, and I have 50 cals, so I'm able to kill him faster than he damages me. Like its XP50 brother, the XF5F actually compresses pretty badly in a dive. That's why, when I'm playing the Skyrocket, I like to gently come down from altitude. I'll usually cut my throttle a bit and loop around, but it lets me end up in situations like this where I have a lot more speed than this Typhoon. It gives me some leeway to decide whether I want to play for my altitude or play for my turn performance. And against something like this, I want to make sure that I'm playing with a little bit of energy, though I can still obviously turn if I'm gonna hit shots on him. He catches on fire, but when I was getting footage for this video, a lot of people were putting their fires out, so I'm gonna fully commit to make sure that he dies. I loop back over the top because I'm gonna have more energy than a guy with no engine, and I'm able to get him out of the match real quick. Below me is a BF-109E, and like most gamers, he believes that looking up is overrated. I get a critical hit on him, and then eventually shear his wing off with enough 50 cals. After that, behind me is an ME-410 and a MiG-3. I go over the top, using my flaps as usual, and closest to me is the ME-410, so I target him first. But he has a tail gunner, and the YP-38 that's going after the MiG-3 actually ends up dying, so I'm going to flip over to the MiG-3 because he's a more threatening fighter. That's it for this video. We just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, so I don't really have a call to action, but the more the merrier. You're still welcome to subscribe. Also, I have a Discord server. If you'd like to be a part of a growing community of active War Thunder players, make sure to join that. Other than that, there's the Patreon. If you'd like to support me directly, that's how you do it. All the support you show me means the world to me. Other than that, that's all for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye-bye.